Okay, this is a download that's coming in this morning, is that women are portals. So we have the ability to access these deeper parts and these other realms, and because of the world that we live in, it's easy to fall into fear and survival, and especially if you like have a family or something like that, and so you just have a partner, not just have a partner for security, but essentially you get together because you each have needs that need to be met and bills to pay, et cetera, et cetera. But that ends up becoming a very shallow relationship. And sometimes it can become a very toxic relationship. So that's a whole other conversation, but I don't know what this is on my face. It popped up the other day. So often women will walk away when they feel like they can't go any deeper. And it's so interesting because it's like you start to see in certain times, like that way that we're designed perfectly to come together and to be these mirrors and to play this polarity and this dance together, but it requires immense courage and the willingness to stick it out in the hard times, because many of us are very traumatized, or grew up in a difficult environment, etc. And men will always be more logical. I just think that that's, in whatever ways, the way that you're set up. And so a woman wants to be like in her deeper waters. Like, I can't speak for what it's like for men. Man, I had another thought about this that I wanted to say. A man has to get to the point that he realizes that he's not afraid of his emotions anymore, that it's not an unsafe place to be in. You're not going to get stuck in them. You can get yourself back out, and there's information, and there's knowledge, and there's wisdom, and these different things that you can attain from going into those depths and into those places. And women lead in the spiritual, like the unknown realms just don't scare us as much. We don't have a choice. We have a womb, and we get intuitive hits. Like, so, it's not to say that I don't deal with fear. I do. It sucks. It's not fun at all. I don't know. I only know from my experience, and it's like for me, it's like after being in a relationship that if you feel very controlled, and like that also mirrored what it was like growing up. It's like, I would rather have freedom than be in a relationship where, I feel put into a box, and we have those moments where we put too much expectation on something, or we're too demanding, and we start to do that to each other. But it's just the willingness to own up to your own stuff and come back to yourself, and sort of this willingness to like heal each other's nervous systems, I think, is a really big part of it, because you really just have to be all in. It's such an interesting thing, because it sort of mirrors to me the relationship that I have with the divine, and like choosing spirituality and all these things, because it's like I was kind of playing in that like in between, like it's like that promiscuous, like what's the word, like wishy-washy part of us that we I want to just dabble in this or whatever, but it's like what you start to realize that it's like you can't really learn anything without immersing yourself in it. You can't really extract the goodness without immersing yourself in it, and that means dealing with the harder aspects too, because I think that's kind of that we want to like bypass things sometimes. Yeah, it has to be, I think, the desire for freedom over validation from others, because that's another thing that's so interesting is that it's like you already know that you get conflicting views from the people around you, but we have this deep, and it is hard. Like, it's hard not having validation. It's hard not feeling supported in things that you want to do. Which is why I think when you're on this journey, it's like you get to a point of like, you're like, I really want my soul tribe. I really want this. Because it's like, yes, I'll lean into God, but it's like, it's hard not having a physical person or physical people here that you can relate to and confide in and etc. So, yeah, I don't know. All these thoughts were coming to me, and I think you just have to make those choices. It's like, if you want to have security, that's okay. But if you want a deeper life, a deeper love, you have to like jump into those emotional aspects and move through them and allow the anger to come up and speak it. And that's very powerful. Like, women are forgiveness. Like, we don't really have a choice. Like, that was put on us. And I think that men, because I think there's so much about the relationship that a man has to his mother that he sees, and the woman that he's with, and there's a big healing aspect there, but he has to start to view her differently and realize that she is a different person, and she's here, standing here by you, with you, to work through this stuff with you. And it's okay. Shame is like always this underlying thing, this elephant in the room that holds us back. And it's like, no, let's plow through that. Like, let's get it out and talk about it and move through it so that we can connect again. Anyways, just some thoughts coming through this morning.